A safety commission found that each year there are about 60,400 emergency department injuries linked to nursery products. There are 9 baby products so risky that pediatric experts don't just say, be careful, they wish they didn't exist at all. And number 6 on this list is the sneakiest of all. Number 9, baby walkers. You're sold the idea that a walker is a little shortcut. You strap your baby in, their toes touch the floor, they zoom across the room, and it feels like you've unlocked walking early. It looks fun, they look proud, and of course, you want to give them that. That's why the CPSC groups walkers with similar mobility devices and still estimates thousands of ER injuries a year. What most parents aren't told is what's happening underneath. Babies who spend a lot of time in walkers often reach steady, independent walking a bit later than babies who mostly stay on the floor. Not because they're behind or because you did something wrong, but because the pattern their body practices in a walker isn't the same as real walking. Inside the frame, your baby doesn't have to hold themselves up in the same way. The seat and structure take a lot of the load. They tend to lean forward, push off with their toes, and let the wheels do the rest. They feel fast, but they're not getting as much practice using their whole foot, engaging their core, or catching themselves when they wobble. All the slow, slightly clumsy stuff on the floor, the rocking on all fours, the careful pull to stand, the shaky cruising along the sofa, the harmless little falls onto a padded diaper. That's actually the real training. That's where their brain and body quietly learn balance, strength, and coordination. A walker skips that grind and hands them speed without as much deep practice underneath. Then there's the safety side. A baby who can suddenly roll across the house before they understand a stairs, hot drinks, or open doors can reach danger in seconds. Which is why some places have gone as far as banning walkers completely. If you already have one, this isn't a judgment on you. It just means from now on, it's worth thinking of it as something you use rarely, if at all, and shifting most of your baby's practice time back to the floor, low furniture, your hands, and maybe a simple, sturdy push toy. Your baby doesn't need a walker to learn to walk. Given time and space, their body will get there on its own and do it better. Number 8, all-day containers. Car seats, bouncers, recliners, swings, and loungers. The AAP says deformational head shape flattening in babies is common, with estimates around 20% to 50% in 6-month-old children. And it often shows up early when babies can't reposition themselves much yet. Car seats in the car, non-negotiable. Strollers so you can leave the house, essential. A bouncy chair so you can drink hot coffee or take a shower, completely reasonable. The issue isn't that these things exist. It's when a normal day quietly turns into waking in a cot, into car seat, onto stroller frame, into rocker, into swing, back into car seat, then straight to another seat at home. Practical for you, but for your baby, it can mean hours in the same reclined, strapped position. When that's the pattern most days, you start to see side effects. One patch of the skull takes most of the pressure. Neck muscles get used to turning one way. Core and back muscles that should be working hard on the floor don't get much to do, so rolling, pushing up, and pivoting can take longer to appear. And because toys and people always come to them, they don't get as many chances to twist, reach, and move toward things on their own. You don't need to ditch every gadget, you just want a better balance. Use the car seat in the car, then actually lift them out when you arrive. Use the stroller to get to the park, then give them a blanket on the grass to kick and wriggle. For every stretch they spend, try to offer a stretch where they're free, flat, and able to move. That simple swap can do more for development than any fancy ergonomic label. Number 7, jumpers and big activity stations. Jumpers and exercisers feel like the perfect compromise. Your baby is upright, delighted, and you can answer a text without someone on your hip. It looks like exercise because their legs are flying. And there's a bigger principle here that's easy to forget. The World Health Organization says infants shouldn't be restrained for more than 1 hour at a time, and they list things like strollers and high chairs as examples of restraint. What you don't see is how supported they really are. In most jumpers, their weight hangs from a harness, their toes brush the floor, and a built-in spring does most of the work. Hip and leg muscles fire in a reflexive, bouncy way, instead of the steady, controlled work that happens when they pull up on furniture and stand in their own time. Big plastic activity stations do something similar by holding the torso in a ring while the legs dangle through cutouts. You don't have to throw yours out. Just demote it from daily workout to short, supervised break. A few minutes while you brush your teeth is very different from using it as a parking spot several times a day. Let the real practice happen at the couch, on the floor, and along low furniture, where their own muscles, not a harness, are in charge. Number 6, early sit-up chairs and molded seats. Those little foam thrones and sit-me-up chairs are sold as a way to help your baby sit and be part of the action sooner. It looks cute, feels convenient, and you don't have to sit behind them with your arms ready to catch every wobble. But sitting isn't a pose you put on a baby. It's something their body builds from the ground up, time on their back and tummy, rolling, pushing up on their arms, strengthening their core, learning how to hold themselves against gravity. When a baby who can't get into sitting yet is wedged into a rigid seat, the chair does that work for them. Their spine rounds, their head lolls, and their hands are trapped instead of learning to catch a fall or pivot into a new position. The result is fewer chances to practice the in-between moves that matter most. Tummy to side to sit, sit to all fours. A better path is slower and less photogenic, but far more useful. Lots of floor time, rolling toward toys, sitting on your lap, between your legs on the floor, or supported with cushions while they lean on their own hands. One day they'll push themselves up into a shaky sit and hold it. And you'll know it isn't because a chair held them there, but because their body was truly ready. Number 5, screens and educational baby content. This one touches almost every modern family. The AAP has long advised that for children under 18 months, screen media should be avoided except for video chatting, because babies learn best from real interaction, not passive viewing. A video while you cook, cartoons in the background, apps that promise early reading and multiple languages before preschool. The message you hear is that screens are harmless or even necessary if you want your child ahead. For babies, research points the other way. Heavy screen time in the first 2 years is linked with later language and weaker social skills, not better ones. The issue isn't that a screen is evil, it's what it pushes out of the day. Real learning happens in back and forth moments. Your baby babbles and you answer. They fling a spoon and you name it. They glance at the window and you follow their eyes and describe what you see. They're studying your face, your tone, the rhythm of turn-taking. That dance is how communication wiring is built. A video can't notice their specific sounds, follow their pointing, or slow down because they look overwhelmed. It can, however, deliver constant bright colors and fast cuts that make normal life feel too quiet. That doesn't mean you've ruined anything if they've watched shows. It means that whenever you can, trading some screen minutes for simple connection, talking while you cook, letting them explore safe objects nearby, reading the same board book again, is far more powerful for their brain than any Genius Baby app. Number 4, baby bath seats and neck floats. Now, we need to talk about products that don't just affect development over time, but can create real danger today. Bath seats and baby neck floats fall hard into that category. They're sold as helpers, even as safety supports. The message is, relax, they're held upright. You can finally have 2 hands free. And the FDA has issued a clear warning to parents and caregivers. Do not use baby neck floats because of the risk of serious injury. Here's the reality. A bath seat is not a life-saving device. A baby in a seat can still slide, tip, or end up with their face in the water. Their neck and trunk are not strong enough to push themselves back up reliably. Drowning for babies doesn't look like what we see in movies. There's often no splashing, no shouting, just a small body that can't get back to air. It takes very little water and very little time. Neck floats add an extra layer of worry. They sit around the most vulnerable part of the body, close to the airway. If the float shifts, deflates unevenly, or bumps into the side of the tub or pool, it can press up under the jaw or tip a baby forward. If it flips, the face can end up in the water with the body held there by the ring. Again, babies don't have the control to fix that themselves. From a developmental point of view, both products also change the tone of bath time from skin-to-skin connection and gentle support into something more passive and equipment-driven. Being held in your arms in the water, feeling your grip adjust, learning to trust your support, watching your face up close, that's all part of how they learn to read safety and comfort. The safest setup is simple: a shallow level of warm water, a non-slip surface, your hands and eyes on them the entire time. If you need to step away for any reason, even just for a second, they come with you. It's more effort in the moment, but it protects the only thing that matters in that room: their ability to breathe. Number 3, noisy, flashing toys that do the play for your child. Let's talk about the toys that light up, sing, vibrate, and talk. One study found that these sounds exceed the recommended limits for children. They're sold as interactive and educational, and because they're busy, it's easy to assume they're good for your baby's brain. But in most of those play sessions, The toy is the main character, and your child is the audience. The toy decides what happens next. It tells them which button to press, plays the sound, flashes the lights. Your child just triggers the show. Now think of the same child with a few blocks, a pot and spoon, or a big cardboard box. There's no plan. They have to decide what the object is, what it does, and what story they're in. That's where real planning, creativity, and focus grow. Coming up with an idea, trying it, fixing it when it falls down, and trying again. Simple toys also don't yell for attention the way noisy ones do, so your child can sink into one game instead of constantly being pulled to the next sound or flashing light. You don't need to bag up every electronic toy, just give them less stage time. Rotate them and try setting out plain, open-ended things for an afternoon: cups, lids, boxes, safe kitchen tools. Watch what your child actually reaches for when the blinky stuff isn't competing. Their brain usually prefers the space to invent. Number 2, cushy sleep pods, nests, and fancy sleeping bags. Those soft nests and padded loungers look so inviting, especially when you're worried a plain crib feels too bare. And the danger isn't theoretical. AAP guidance also points out that inclined sleepers have been tied to infant injuries, which is exactly why the messaging around cute loungers and snuggly nests matters so much. Add in novelty sleep sacks with extra stuffing or built-in pillows, and it can seem like you're making sleep cozier and more supportive. The problem is that safe sleep guidelines all say the same thing: flat, firm, and clear. When you surround a baby with padding or strap them into a bulky shaped sleep bag, it becomes harder for them to move freely and easier for their nose and mouth to end up against something soft they can't push away from. There's also what you don't see. In a simple setup, babies shift a little all night, turning their head, pulling up their knees, wriggling into a new position. Those tiny movements help build strength, spread pressure on the skull, and give the brain practice steering the body. When they're wedged into a pod or heavy sack, they lose that quiet workout. If you're worried about flat spots or comfort, focus on the daytime, more tummy time, changing the direction they face in the cot and carrying them in different positions. For sleep, the safest and most development-friendly option is still the boring one: a firm mattress, a fitted sheet, and either a well-fitting, unweighted sleep sack or appropriate pajamas. It might not look like the styled nursery photos, but that simple, bare sleep space is exactly what keeps them safest. Number 1, food pouches, bottle propping gadgets, and other hands-free feeding tools. On a long day, they feel like magic. No chopping, no wiping puree off the walls, no wrestling a bottle into position. Pouches promise organic and easy, and those little bottle holders are sold as a step toward independence. It all sounds helpful, but mealtimes aren't just about getting calories in. They're supposed to be practice. Your baby is meant to reach, grab, squish, and miss. They're learning how hard to squeeze a soft piece of banana, how to bring a bit of toast to their mouth, how to chew thicker textures so their jaw, tongue, and cheeks get stronger for speech later. They're also taking in smells, temperatures, and the cause and effect of what happens when I drop this. When most of the food comes out of a spout or a bottle is held in place for them, a lot of that work disappears. Pouches are smooth and uniform, so there's no chewing or handling. With a propped bottle, milk keeps flowing whether or not your baby is actively sucking or ready to swallow, and they can't easily push it away. That's where the risk of choking or milk going the wrong way creeps in. There's a confidence piece too. When your baby manages to grab a piece of food and get it into their mouth on their own, you can see it on their face. I did it. Those little wins matter. If feeding is always something that happens to them rather than something they do, they get fewer of those "I can" moments. None of this means you're a bad parent if you've used pouches or a prop, or that you can never touch them again. It just means that most of the time, especially at home, it's worth letting things be a bit more hands-on and messy. Soft finger foods on the tray, a spoon in their hand, even if half of it ends up on the floor. You'll wipe more surfaces, yes, but in that mess, their body, brain, and confidence are getting exactly the practice they're built for. The thing is that a lot of this gear is new. Your parents and grandparents grew up without most of it. The baby industry is huge, and it's very good at making tired, loving parents feel like you're missing something. You're not. Real development still comes from movement, touch, connection, exploration, and time, not from the latest must-have gadget. You don't need a perfect gear-free home. You just need a few more chances each day for your baby to do things themselves instead of having products do it for them. So here's your one simple homework question for tonight. When the house is quiet, look around and ask, is this doing a job my baby could slowly learn to do on their own? If the answer is yes, nudge things a bit. 5 fewer minutes in the device, 5 more on the floor. 1 less video, 1 extra song. 1 less pouch, 1 more banana slice in a chubby hand. Tell me in the comments which product on this list surprised you most. And if this changed how you see baby gear, even a little, share it with another parent who deserves real information more than another ad. Your presence, your patience, and your willingness to let development unfold at its own pace, that's the most powerful product your baby will ever have.